Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the Touchdown Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. You can get more, you can get the text guide for the tournament, the ultimate text guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link to Patreon and to all other of our social medias is in the description down below. So on the right hand side you will see an info box where you find the elevation for the drive, and then for the second shot underneath there you will see what type of ball or balls that I would like you to play with, or at least suggest you to play with. If that is not something you want to use, then don't, it's up to you, but I always have a thought when it comes to suggesting the ball type. Also there you have clubs underneath there as well, and I am totally understanding that there is different levels of all the players' clubs, and in the end it's suggestions. You choose whatever you feel comfortable with, but once again there's always a thought with my suggestions there in the info box. And also make sure that you comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions, and don't forget the thumbs up. So let's go with hole number one. For hole number one in Expert, we are going to play a very difficult wind here. So I would suggest you play with a power 5 ball. And a berserker ball is the closest I can get, because I don't have any specific, power 5, win 2, win 3 balls on this account. So starting at plus 19 is going to be my reference, using, in this case, 4.5 bar backspin and as much side spin to the left possible. We adjust maximum distance for a 20% over adjustment, and then in the end we're gonna go with overpower. And I would say this one is just hovering above the blue ring when it comes to overpower, and around, what can we call it, around 50% of overpower. Hitting great left is still fine though. Great left, great right will both be fine combined with obviously a perfect. We get this one very close, but with this win I do not expect anything there. Just to add, you do not have to play with an extra mile. The best suggestion would be an Apocalypse level 5+. Reason for that is because then you get 240 yards, then you will have to reduce the overpower just a tiny little bit. But in the end it's going to be a difficult hole here on hole number one to claim the eagle, so be sure you're focused, because in the end you don't want to fall into that sand trap. Hole number two is a par 3, and we're going to play this one with a sniper. And I would like us to play with 1.5 bar topspin, so not the 1.8 that we're looking at there. 5 bars of side spin to the left, and we're going to slightly offset this one to the left of the pin. Approximately around half a green square to the left of the pin is what we're looking for. Then I adjust this shot 1-1, which is equal as medium distance plus 10%. And in the end, we are going to see this shot miss left here. So the thing that I will look for once again is that I want us to reduce to 1.5 bar topspin, because this ball comes in way hot, and not way hot, but it comes in too hot. And therefore we need to reduce that, and then we're going to be closer and it's going to be better speed. Good chance for a hole-in-one on this par 3 as well. For hole number 3 we're going to play our first par 5, and here I want us to play with the quarterback. Sure, the wind here, as it is tailwind, is very tempting to try to just go full blast, but I think that the wind is going to be generally too low for us to get that ball to bounce over the water and roll in a way that we do like. Sure, Apocalypse level 7, level 8 could maybe consider it with a power 5 ball, but otherwise I would stay away from that. We are looking for as much side spin to the right possible, combined with, in this scenario, 4 bars of topspin. And then we go with half a ball of curl to the right. And it's very important that we're using that curl in the end to reduce the possibility, or reduce the risk to get into the sand. 338 yard mark, and we're going to then for the second shot play with the sniper in close to minimum distance. I would say in between minimum and medium distance is going to be the adjustment here for this shot. This because We do have a tailwind which is going to extend the second bounce way further. So we do really need to pay attention to that part. And this is, with this type of wind, being able to adjust with a sniper with such a good ball guideline, I would have to say that this is an extremely good opportunity making an albatross. I would be super surprised if we aren't seeing a lot of people dropping this one from distance. I'm not using any elevation whatsoever, a little bit too much to the right, but we will compensate for that the next time and get that freaking alba. Hole number 4 does also have a very difficult wind here, I would say. I was thinking that we would be getting a different type of wind. And the thing is though, we could play it like we did the last time, that we bounce into the rough and roll out, but the green is super duper bumpy. They have made some changes there, which makes me want to take a bit more tougher route to give ourselves a much better chance getting the eagle here on hole number 4. First, we go with an extra mile or whatever drive that we have the most distance with. Max side spin left and 5 bars of top spin. Then we're going to adjust maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And then we're going to go with a tiny bit of curl left. And also when it comes to overpower, around, you know, between mid to max type of overpower there. That is something you will have to go by feeling, and it's also club based, because if you do have a club with more distance, then you do need less overpower. So with an extra mile level 8 there, it was absolutely important for us to go with a decent amount of overpower. Second shot is going to be without elevation, and we're looking to actually go for the dunk. Look at where the blue arrows are. They are basically behind the cup, and that is super duper important, as for the fact that we otherwise will most likely fall short. So stretch out your club, look for what type of distance you are, and in this case I adjust in between minimum and medium distance with no elevation, and we get that one in for a nice dunk. You may wonder, why do I go for a dunk and not just rolling it towards the pin? It's because once again you're gonna notice that the green is so bumpy that it is almost impossible to find a line that you can feel is going to be consistent. So the dunk is going to be my option, as I feel then we don't have to rely on the ball rolling in the way we want or bouncing in the way we want. For hole number 5, we're going to play with a power 3 ball, and I think that's a very important thing here though, as we do want to find the minimum distance of our club. This shot is going to be possible to play with a quarterback level 8 plus. This because a lower level quarterback does not have the, enough backspin. I want us to play with 5.5 bar backspin, and you're gonna notice that I play with 6 bars backspin here, and you will also notice that I fall short. But the beauty part with this adjustment is that you look for the red ring by the sand trap, combined with being in entirely minimum distance. So choose the sniper as a wood club, because then you find that red line at the bottom, and then you find the minimum distance way easily. Adjust for a minimum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and once we are reducing the backspin, so we're having 5.5 instead of 6, we can actually also reduce the curl. So we play that one without any curl, and then we're going to be super duper close. So minor tweaks for this one for hole number 5, but I truly believe we have found a money position here that we do just need to execute it well with the correct adjustment. For hole number 6, we are going to play with a club that gives us an accuracy and a good ball guideline for the start. The quarterback is good, but it does not really have enough distance in my opinion. I would say go with the rock. If you do have it even in level 6 plus, you get more yardage and still get a good accuracy and a good ball guideline. I would like us to have, even with the rock, the blue ring by the rough line starting at, in that case, starting at +4. And using as much side spin to the left possible with 4 or 5 bars of top spin. In the end, it doesn't really matter if it's 4 or 5. The important part it is that it's either 4 or 5. Get to 323 yards, and that's going to leave ourselves up for a 1-to-1 shot towards the pin, meaning that we're going to adjust this shot as many rings as the wind says in terms of wind strength. We just need to make sure though that we're not letting the ball going through the hole like I'm doing here now, because this ball is going to come in a little bit too hot, which is going to be not that fun for us obviously, because we're not gonna get it in and we're gonna hit the pin, and that's always going to be just a total bummer. The drive is 10% over adjusted, and then the second shot is no elevation whatsoever. We hit perfect. And as you can see here, the ball comes in very nicely in terms of, you know, direction. But speed-wise, it is a little bit too hot and it bounced the pin and just slip out. A little bit, you know, less speed that would have been in for an albatross. So in the end, note down yardage notes on this course and then you replicate from there. The wind does not allow us to do anything in an aggressive way. So this is the way that we're gonna play every single time. For hole number 7, I'm going to give you 2 types of approaches here. First, we're going to play just a normal route, conservative way, where we're going to play over on the left-hand side, bouncing over the water, trying to gain as much distance as possible, and then a short iron or a long iron towards the pin. So, the drive, we are playing with a Titan ball. I would suggest a power 3 ball. Power 2 ball will work, but I would say power 3 ball and a Titan would be perfect. 5 bars of topspin. And then we're going to adjust for maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. Once we have done that, we're going to take our shot just as normal. No curl, no overpower whatsoever. Great left, great right will still be fine. It's not something you will have to be concerned about. Obviously, if you hit good left or good right, then obviously you should be a little bit concerned. But if you do that, you will have to obviously blame yourself. 344, and then we're going to look. We are just in max distance slash minimum distance, depending on what you want to refer. So I'm going to play here on the fairway using max side spin to the right, and this type of approach is something that I've been playing in Master Division a lot of time, especially the last time we had this hole in the tournament. Then I played that route with good success. So max side spin to the right, I'm playing with 2 bars of backspin as well, and the plan is the ball to bounce, they're pretty high bounce up there and then go towards the pin. And in this scenario, I'm actually playing this shot with no elevation, but I would suggest you to actually play this shot with the 10% elevation as well, then that shot would be in. But that's why you have a 0 there on the right. So in the end, we're gonna see and look at that as 10% instead. So we're just adding that one there as a nice little quality change by we're making this playthrough. So for the more aggressive route, we are going to look for playing with a driver that gives you 240 yards. And that is going to be an Apocalypse 5 plus in some sort. You can play with a different driver as well, but this is one of the drivers that I would suggest. Apocalypse level 8 by all means, you know, but you don't really have to care about the level of the club. Level 5 plus does give you the same type of distance that would you have on this club here, and this flight path is still going to be the same. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. I push up to max. I'm using 2 topspin and as much side spin to the left, right possible. Perfect ball. And the problem here for us is that we're using curl. In the end, stay away from curl, and also I would consider this one to be able to adjust way more to the left, because we gained a lot of distance with that shot. But obviously, doing that aggressive drive, you risk with a bad drive to the left going into the water, you risk with a bad drive to the right going to the rough or into the sand, and then the eagle chance is basically gone. But if you roll out, you have a short iron approach that we have here, or if you hit the fairway directly, you're most likely gonna end up on green. Perfect ball here with approach with our short iron, and it goes in for a nice eagle. I wanted to show you 2 approaches here, as for you then to decide what you feel comfortable with. Some people don't really like to play that aggressive with that much of a risk, but some people like. So in the end, you decide what you want to do on hole number 7. For hole number 8, we're going to play once again with our sniper. That's going to be the club that we play on for hole number 2 and also hole number 8. And you will notice here now when I'm making my adjustment here that I'm trying to get the red ring by the rough line with the ball guideline to the hole. And then I'm adjusting, in this scenario, I adjust 8.5 rings with this adjustment. So 8.5 rings is going to be approximately maximum distance plus 10% with this type of shot. We're coming in nicely on the fairway there, but we need to compensate with more left spin to be able to get that ball to the hole. It is a good shot though, and I think it's definitely possible to tweak. Great left, great right is still going to be fine. I would also say that playing with a more wind 5 ball here would definitely be a viable option. So if you do have balls like that, you could definitely change to do so to reduce the wind even more. So just to add that in the end, just to summarize real quick, we play that one with half a bar of backspin, and we play with 1 bar left spin is what I want to have, and the same type of position, and then in the end we adjust it for maximum distance plus 10. Last but not least in this playthrough, we are going to take a look at hole number 9, and here it's all about what type of club you're having, in my opinion. Like what decides which type of ball you can play. Playing with an Apocalypse level 5 plus, you get 240 yards of distance, and that is going to be absolutely then perfect when it comes to playing with a power 3 ball. And then you can play Kingmaker, you can play Titan, and you know, whatever power 3 ball you might have. Maximum top spin with as much side spin to the right possible. You adjust for max distance with a 10% over adjustment. Once done, push up your target to max, and then you go with max overpower. If you do play with a Berserker ball, as there is in the info box there to the right hand side, you don't have to go with max overpower, as you obviously going to have more distance once you have pushed up your drive, so just have that in mind. But the beauty part with playing with a power 3 ball, or especially a Kingmaker, where you can reduce the wind a little bit extra, is that you then could play a more aggressive route if you want to. And with aggressive route I mean the rough bump, because I feel that the rough bump with this type of wind is going to be the best way for you to get this ball in the hole. The problem we have here though is that I'm adjusting with the ball guideline being just before the pin. And that is not something I should do. The ball guideline should be going through the hole, as now when we are adjusting, we're adjusting from a higher to a lower point, and then it's very easy to not get the distance that we are looking for. Minimum distance is what I'm adjusting here with no elevation, and if you don't feel comfortable with the adjustment there, or if you don't feel comfortable with the rough bump overall, then you play on the fairway, bounce yourself up towards the pin with a less chance for an albatross, but at least it should be a 100% safe eagle. So in the end, everybody, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Expert Division in the Touchdown Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and don't forget to check out patreon.com/golfclashtommy to get the text guides for this tournament and all the other upcoming tournaments here in February and in the future. Once again, thank you so much, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.